Welcome back to Sydney's Travels. For those of you who are new, my name is Sydney, and for those of you who are returning, you guys are very patient. 6 months! I made you wait half a year for this and you're still here. I love you all. Before I move on, first of all, I have to apologise. I'm so sorry that it took me so long to create this video. I would lie to you and say it's because, you know what? I've just been so busy. I have not had the time, or I've just had so much stuff to do. But that would all be a lie. It literally is because I have just been so lazy. I have been busy, but not busy enough to literally sit down for maybe an hour or so to edit these videos. So I thought, instead of just putting a few clips together and then adding background music, I thought I'd sit here and literally explain the whole weekend to you guys. So with that out of the way, guys, let's get into the video.
Been a little too nice for y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all.
So let's start with part one. I will link it down below, but I thought if I'm going to explain the trip to you guys, I may as well start from the beginning. So I had to drive from London to Stoke-on-Trent, which is in the Midlands. So it was about a 3-hour drive. And on the way, I'm sorry guys, it still pisses me off to even think about it. On the way, I got a flat tire. Got to a point where people were literally like trying to get my attention on either side of the lanes. So at that point, I was just like, okay, let me stop and just see how bad it is. It was very bad. The tire was completely flat. It wasn't just deflated, like it was hugging the ground. Like it was so bad. Luckily I had breakdown cover, so I called the number, and about 2 hours later they sent someone to come and look at my tire. No word of a lie, this guy looks 12 years old. The guy, we'll call him the guy, came and he told me to wait a few yards away from my car, which by the way was next to a bridge. I could have fallen down. I don't know why he told me to wait there. I understand you're meant to wait a certain distance away from your car because it's dangerous, but to send me behind a bar next to a bridge doesn't make any sense. But I stood there anyway because I was just so tired. I was pissed off that he took 2 hours to come, but whatever. So I'm standing there on my phone waiting for the guy to fix my tire, and then I hear a gunshot. So I was like, so not only am I stranded on the motorway, but I'm gonna die too. So the 12-year-old comes back. We'll call him the 12-year-old actually. Guy is even too much of a compliment for him because he was not. So the 12-year-old comes back and tells me,
yeah, the tire's blown.
And I'm like, blown where? He goes,
oh no, like it blew up.
and I'm like, you blew up my tire. And he goes,
no, your tire's blown.
I'm like, you blew up my tire. Like, you were operating the machine that was to put air into my tire. Therefore, it was you who blew up my tire. We kept going back and forth, and in the end, I was just like, so let me get this straight. I was in an emergency, stranded on the motorway. I call you guys. I'm not going to mention their company name because I don't really want to give them the free advertising, to be honest, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I went through. So I called you guys in an emergency to help me, and instead of helping me, you make the situation a million times worse. It was around 4 o'clock when I first decided to stop on my hard shoulder, so the lane where no cars are allowed to drive. 8 PM, I was still on the motorway with a flat tire. Sorry, a blown up tire. So then he goes,
okay, I could call a tow truck and it could take you to the nearest garage, or we could take you to your destination.
I'm like, okay, fine, that's cool, but what about my tire? Like, you still haven't fixed the situation. The situation here is that not only was my tire flat now, but it's broke, like it's done. Like the tire's, like, what are you gonna do? He goes,
oh well, yeah, you're gonna have to go to a garage and get it fixed.
So I then asked him again, really and truly now, you haven't helped me and you can't help me anymore. All you can do is suggest taking me somewhere so that someone else can help me. And he didn't really have anything to say because even he knew it sounded stupid. I was like, look, you know what? You've been absolutely useless. I'm going to my car.
I wouldn't advise you going into your car because, you know, lorries could crash into you.
I'm like, listen, at this point, I don't care. I'm tired. I've been driving for 3 hours. And I was 20 minutes away from where I needed to be, guys. That's what hurts the most. I was literally only 20 minutes away from where I needed to be. And all I wanted was for him to either switch my tire, which he could have done, or at least pump it up. So when I ask him, okay, what caused it to blow up other than you? He goes,
oh, well, I think the tyre was damaged.
and in my head I'm thinking, you think a 12-year-old thinks the tyre was damaged. So I'm like, okay, so it was damaged and then you still proceeded to try and inflate it knowing that the tyre was damaged? And he goes, actually no, either way, he was just giving me so many excuses. He couldn't tell me a reason why this happened or how he could help me. All he kept saying was, we could drive you here, we could drive you there. And I'm like, I don't want to be driven. I know how to drive myself. I don't want to be driven anywhere. I want my tyre fixed and I want to be on my way. So in the end, I was just so fed up. I was cold, okay, because it was in the summer, right? So during the day, obviously, it's going to be nice and warm. But when it comes to the evening, it does get a bit chilly and I was cold. I'd had enough. Been standing there for an hour while he looks on his computer to see when the nearest tow truck's gonna come. 45 minutes. So after driving 3 hours on the motorway and then stopping on the motorway for another 4 hours, nothing had been done to fix my tyre. So then I was in my car, I googled 24-hour repair service, and within literally 5 minutes, I found someone, called them, they gave me a quote, £150. Like, it actually hurts to say it out loud, £150. I called for help. I didn't call to now pay £150. So to me, it was like, why did I call you then? So within about 20 minutes, I called the guy, he gave me a quote, he then sent someone out, that person removed the damaged tyre and fitted me with a brand new one, and I was on my way. 20 minutes. Yet the 12-year-old came, 3 to 4 hours, I was still stuck on the motorway, and all the guy had done was blow up my tyre. Yeah, it was not fun, but hey, I managed to get to my destination. I had a lovely bed waiting, going to sleep, very angry. So the next day, woke up, met up with everyone, and then we drove from Stoke-on-Trent to Wales, Snowdonia. The drive from Stoke-on-Trent to Snowdonia was just under 2 hours, so it wasn't that long, considering how flipping long I'd spent on the motorway the day before. So we got to the car park. The car park was free, I believe, but we had to take a taxi up to the base of the mountain, which was about £1 or £2, and then we started our ascent up Mount Snowdon. When I was told about this trip, I thought, okay, the main thing I need to be is warm and comfortable. So I brought a raincoat, I brought a jumper, and then a loose fitted top so I wasn't uncomfortable. I wore some gym leggings and I wore trainers. Trainers was the worst choice I could have possibly made, and now that I think about it, it was a very, very dumb decision to wear trainers instead of hiking boots. I can honestly say I almost broke my ankle like 20 times. It was ridiculous. So other than the first mistake I made, which was trusting my breakdown cover service to actually get me back on the road, my second mistake was thinking that trainers would be an appropriate type of footwear to be walking up a mountain. Don't be a fool like me. I also had a rucksack which had my water, extra clothes, tissues, snacks I may need to eat along the journey. There were different trails that we could have taken. Some were easy, some were hard. I absolutely cannot remember the name of them, and I probably would insult the Welsh trying to pronounce them, so I'm going to just leave it at that. So I think it took us about 3 or 4 hours to walk up from the base of the mountain to the summit. It was so hard. It was hard because there were parts where it was just a nice flat surface, like you're walking on a normal street. That's where we saw the lovely lakes. They were really pretty. Took some pictures there. And then there were parts where it was literally like we were climbing, like we were basically rock climbing with no wires or safety. Like it was very steep. The rocks were very sharp. So again, this is where me thinking that trainers would be a good idea. This is where I was really paying for it. So after about, I think, 3 hours, we finally reached the summit, the top of Mount Snowdon. Took some pictures right at the peak, right at the summit, and then we took a few pictures elsewhere as well. I didn't know this until we got to the top, but there was a train. There was a train. We could have taken the train up the mountain and we could have taken the train down the mountain. But I think the whole point was to actually, you know, climb the mountain itself. I was so tempted to take a train down the mountain because, oh, it was so hard climbing up. But I thought, you know what? climbing up is always harder than climbing down. So when we got to the top, there was a sort of cafe where we could sort of like rest, buy some food, some snacks, some drinks, sweets and stuff. And I got myself, I think, a bottle of water and some like sweets to just keep my energy up. And then we started our descent. Remember when I told you that I thought climbing down would be easier than climbing up? I was wrong, and very wrong. On this mountain, there was nothing to support you. So let's take stairs for example. When you're going upstairs, it's always long and tiring, but when you're going down, it's a lot easier. So I foolishly sort of tried to put that in the perspective of walking down the mountain. There's no banister, there's no rope, there's no wire, it's literally just rocks. And these rocks have a tendency to give way under your foot. Once again, wearing trainers was not the best decision for this. When you're climbing up the mountain, if a rock gives way, you can easily fall forward and support yourself. If a rock gives way when you're trying to walk down, you fall backwards and you have a risk of sort of hurting your back, hitting your head. So I would say, in my opinion, walking up the mountain was a lot easier than walking down, because at least I could sort of climb. You can't climb down a mountain with your hands behind your back, or you can't climb down a mountain while facing it, because then that's just going to take a million years. It took us about 3 hours to go down the mountain. We didn't go the same way we came up. We took a different route, which in my opinion I thought was a lot harder. I wish we'd taken a different route, but we got down in the end. It took us about 6 to 7 hours for the whole ascent and descent down the mountain. I will leave the link to that vlog in the description box below. So we got back to the car and then we drove to our Airbnb. The Airbnb was very, very nice. It was very lovely. I think it had 6 bedrooms. It had 2 kitchens, 1 kitchen diner and then 1 small kitchen. The living room was upstairs, which led out into sort of like a patio area where there was a barbecue and sort of like a bench swing. It was very, very lovely. We didn't get to use the barbecue though. Everyone was so tired from climbing a mountain. The next morning, I felt unimaginable pain in my legs, and we still had a lot of other things to do in Wales. Our first stop was to go to this lovely, lovely sandy beach. So the guys went and sort of like swam in the water, and I kind of just like stayed lying on the beach, you know, to get a tan. The beach was lovely. I don't know if it was a blue flag beach, but I think it should be because it was very, very clean. After the beach, we went to Harlech Castle. Again, I apologize if I am butchering this word, but I don't know how to say it. Harlech. We went to the castle. We read up on the history, took a few pictures. Then we went to our last destination, which was a waterfall. The waterfall was absolutely beautiful. It was sort of like enclosed in its own sort of like cave area, if that's the best way to explain it, but just open enough so that everyone can see. After spending about an hour or so there, we then literally drove straight back to London because I was just so tired. I just wanted my bed. I had a lot of fun. Would I do it again? Yes. Now knowing what equipment I need, I would definitely do it again, just because I know that I can, because I've done it before. Was it hard? Yes, it was very hard. For someone who doesn't either rock climb or go hiking. That is Weekend in Wales Part 3 summed up. If you guys have any questions about the weekend or just any questions in general, please comment down below. So now that it's 2019, you guys are probably wondering, where is Sydney going next? I have 2 trips planned. One coming up very soon and one coming up in the summer. So stay tuned for those 2. Thank you so much guys for watching and just sticking with me even when I kind of left you hanging for 6 months. You guys are amazing really, and again it's because of you that I have the motivation to do this. With that being said guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then